No. Hi everyone, I'm Henriette from MDC and I will be your host today for MDC Tidbits. We are on the fourth week of our Tidbits where we are gathering all the maritime guys for a little lunch break where we are having some lunch bites with knowledge, stories or tips and tricks. So today the topic is knowledge, and it will be a 15 minutes talk, and then it will be followed by 15 minutes of Q&A. So it's short and sweet. You're welcome to pop out if you have something else to do and you don't want to stay for the Q&A. So let's get started. As usual, we'll have a toast for today's tidbit. I will share my lunch with you. I'm looking so much forward for the lunch buffet again at my job. So it will be a lunch box. I hope you are having a better lunch than me. But let's welcome Christian Skorup, who is the CEO of Lorentz Technologies. He's gonna take us through the use of drones for the maritime technology. And I can assure you, because I have already shared some of his videos at the MDC's LinkedIn profile yesterday, that you're gonna see awesome things. I was really amazed to see the drone, which looks like a ray, like a stingray swimming in the water. And I got to know that drones, they can both read and they do have a brain. And I have heard from Christian that he's gonna show us a real brain of a drone today. So today my anteater will have company of real drones. So I'll pass over the floor to you, Christian, and have a wonderful lunch, everyone, while listening to Christian.
Yeah, hi everyone. Nice to be here, and thanks for the invitation to do this tidbit. And yeah, I'm very happy to do this. And yeah, I really need to thank the Maritime Development Center for having me and you today. So thanks for that. I won't have any strange animals in my office because you're actually in my office now, but I will have one of the best drone products on the market right now, the most versatile product just next to me. And I must say that I'm not a drone producer, so we don't produce drones, sorry, but we utilize existing drone platforms that are already on the market. I have one of them here, and we'll speak about a lot about drones later. But this talk will be a bit different because it will not be necessarily around the drone itself, how long time it can fly, or how the batteries are, or what cameras we're using, or anything like that. It will be more around how can we actually utilize the data coming from the drone, and how can we digitize some of the business processes that we have in our businesses today by utilizing drones or robots. So I hope that we can jump to the presentation now, and yeah, I'll simply start to run through the presentation. And as you see, the presentation is not around what is a drone or what can a drone do, but more about how do we manage actually these new technologies, these new driving or flying drones in our existing workflow, and how would we utilize the data? But to look at the agenda, first I'll start presenting you some of what I call the very exciting stuff, some of the future stuff. What are we going to see from drones in the future? I brought some videos because we all use online tools to find inspiration, and I've found some pretty nice stuff out there. I'll try to show you. So that will be around the vision. Then I'll try to go into more facts or go into what is actually possible right now, because with the technologies that we have available, some pretty intense stuff is actually possible already right now. And then looking into where do Lawrence Technology, where do we see drones going, what are the hot topics, what are the next steps in utilizing drone technology. But first of all, just a bit about Lawrence Technology, founded in 2017. So we're a quite young company. We're 16 full-time employees. We're around 20 people every day at the office. We have a professional board. We already have products in the market. We have them developed, these intelligent drone solutions. They are already commercial, meaning that we have delivered these products to clients already. Some of the clients are within the security industry and within the port security, what we are going to talk about today. And we also have a business model that is based on software as a service and drone as a service. Yeah, so to jump on to some of the exciting stuff. I've been looking forward to show you some of this because I think it's actually quite interesting. Because a lot of us go to the internet to find inspiration and figure out what can we actually do with drones. And first of all, I'm sorry if this chops a bit, this video, because we are presenting online, so I hope you can see it, but it's actually two drones playing ping pong. And why do I bring two drones playing ping pong? Because is that even relevant? And I must say it's really relevant in the term of this is something that we're going to see in the future, meaning that we will have a fantastic autonomous control of these flying robots or driving robots, meaning that they can make decisions themselves, they can position themselves, they can do a lot of crazy stuff in the future. But this is, of course, not something that can be implemented, because who would implement a drone playing ping pong? I don't see the business case. But the technology of the positioning is quite fascinating. I'll jump on to the next one. This is also a drone. It's just a snake drone or a swimming drone or a drone that can behave different than a flying drone. What you see here is, of course, something developed at a university. It's future stuff. It's stuff that you cannot implement today because this is a prototype. But again, I think this is a quite good example on what will we see in the future. Where is this whole robot technology going? Will we start seeing robots that look more and more like animals? Will we start to see animals that we can actually, or robots, sorry, that we can send into areas where we don't want people to be, or into areas where people can't go? And I think this is one of the examples that, the robots, they will progress now. And seeing something like this, thinking about a port where you have pipes, where you have harbor fronts, where you have a lot of stuff, piers that you want to inspect. This could be a potential platform for the future. But again, when we are speaking the future, we are speaking 5-10 years ahead. This is not at all anything that you can implement today in a harbor environment. Jumping on to the next one, because this is also quite interesting. This is also something that I found on the internet. And why did this catch my attention? As Henriette said, it looks like a stingray or something like that. But again, if we think in the terms of sending robots, sending drones into areas where we don't want people to go to, or where robots can be more effective, this could be an example. Here we have a pier. Could it go and inspect the pier underwater? Could it look at ships from under? Could it go inspect the harbor front? I think this is some of the technology that we will see. Drones, robots going out, fetching the data, gathering the data for us, bringing it back for a further analysis. Of course, one of the big problems with this one, and it is a prototype, is of course the cable, because right now it's controlled by a human. In the future, we will see these robots that can actually control themselves and that can actually gather the data in an intelligent way. Yeah, so what are we actually doing at Launch Technology? Yeah, Henriette already said a bit about it. I have an example here. We develop a brain for the drone, and actually what I'm showing right now is the brain of the drone. This is a unit that you can place on top of a drone, just on our, as we make an example on our vision here, a drone that can then send the data via 4G technology to a cloud platform. And this is not just data that we are transferring at any time. We're transferring them in real time from the drone to the cloud platform. And this is something completely new because most drones today, they transfer the data from the drone to the operator. But now we have broken that line. We are sending the data directly from the drone to the cloud, distributing the data from the cloud directly to wherever we need it, whether it's in the SOC, the Security Operations Center, or if it's the port office or at any engineer company that need to look at the data, we transfer the data directly in real time from this brain. This brain also have the capability to do artificial intelligence on board the drone and to analyze the data that the drone gather. Yeah, and what do we need more to do that actually? Yeah, this shows the unit that how it works. It transfers the data from the drone or from the robot to the cloud, so we can sit in the cloud platform and manage everything, meaning that we can manage missions, sending drones out, sharing the streams that we get in. Just as an example, at the port, if you have some environmental thing going on, maybe a ship leaking some oil, you can directly stream that data to the authorities or to the harbor office or to the company that actually owns the ship within this system. You will also archive the data, meaning that you will archive them in the system, being able to analyze it further afterwards, or being able to actually make tasks from the data. You can access multiple sites, and you can of course have these workflows around how do we share the data. And it's all made to accommodate better solutions for the security and the port industry, because we have the issues where we have low quality on the security products due to the guard not being able to find intruders, or as we have in the top right corner, looking for people hiding on top of trailers. What better tool could you use than the drone? At the bottom, you have areas that are actually very difficult to cover. You can send the drone instead of sending a car or a man that needs to look in between the cars. So what was the main things? Yeah, it should be easy to operate. It should automate the workflows, and this is a very important thing. We need to automate the data gathering and also the workflows that we have after gathering the data. And we need a cloud platform to make sure that we can actually share a workspace, or we can share the data that the drones or the robots gather for us. And as I said before, our product is mainly targeted the security and the port industry. Here are just an example of some of the clients. I won't go into more details around that, but I want to move as fast as possible to this next slide, because I think this is very much the key around looking into how can you go from very manual processes in the port or in the maritime industry onto digitizing these work tasks and onto, in the end, doing more using artificial intelligence to actually locate some of your key assets or analyzing some of your key assets. But just to explain you a bit, this slide comes from some of the work we did with the Port of Esbjerg. They had a lot of manual workflows. And just to give you an example is the pier inspections, how they do them today. Yeah, they do as every or most other ports do today. They do a manual workflow. They put 3 men in a boat, 1 to sail the boat, 1 to make it secure, and 1 to actually gather information on the harbor fronts, how they look, and what is the condition of them. What we proposed the port was, but we need to start digitizing this process, because why do we send 3 men in a boat when we instead could potentially send a drone utilizing 3 minutes and gathering the exact same data that would take the people in the boat hours to collect? And how can we move from digitizing this to a more automated process where we can actually start utilizing data from the drone being analyzed in a cloud platform and looking at the data? And as you see, this is like a 3-step model. You have manual workflows, you start digitizing your workflows, and you go to a completely automated solution where you let the computer analyze this picture, saying this is a ladder, there's a rope hanging into the port, there's some fender material that is damaged, instead of actually sending 3 men in a boat. And this is one of the key things of starting both utilizing drones but also digitizing the port, because you need to start to gather the data. You need to go from the manual workflow to the digital workflow and onto the next step. You cannot jump any of these steps, meaning that you cannot go from the manual workflow to the AI solution. You need to start to gather the data. And this is one of the key processes of the way that we work with drones, is how can we fetch the data in an easy way? How can we get them to a place where we can analyze them? And how can we then start to analyze it using artificial intelligence? I'll give you an example here. This is done with DFDS, the ferry company, actually one of the world's best ferry companies. And we're very proud to work with them. They had a task of detecting where the trailers are placed on the harbor, or on the terminal, sorry. And this is again where the brain of the drone comes into play. Because how can you actually do that if you have a man flying the drone manually and a man looking at the data? Then you cannot actually do an intelligent solution. But we turned this around with DFDS and made a completely new type of trailer detection. And I'll just let this video run and show you what it is. The drone is launched automatically from the cloud platform. The drone positions itself in front of the trailers. And what you'll see now is the drone brain actually seeing, but there's a trailer here. You can see all the squares marked around the trailers. It actually takes one image of each trailer, sent to the backend system for analysis. The system reads all the numbers on the trailer, combine that with the GPS position, and send that data to the terminal truck, so the terminal truck can go and pick up the right trailer. This is a very efficient way of actually digitizing your workflow and taking the value of the digitization onto being able to load your vessels faster. But of course, this is not just something that they called us and say, yeah, can we buy some AI solutions by Lawrence Technology? No, we started filming trailers simply with a drone flying, positioning itself, gathering a lot of data. When we have had all that data in place, we could start using artificial intelligence to actually pick out the trailers. And it takes some time to do, but it's doable. Another case that I would like to show you is also an example from the port, where they have fenders and pulleys. And they are of course placed at the port, and I'll just show you a video here running. And as you can see, the drone actually on the video detects where all the safety ladders are and where all the pullets are. So when we can detect them, actually take individual images from the harbor front and send the data for further analysis. And as you can see, this is actually something that can be done right now. We can fetch this data. We still then need to work on the process together with the port on how can we then actually sort the data, clean the data, and how can we make the cloud platform then analyze this one specific pullout or this one specific ladder and the condition of the ladder. But also again to show you that some of this stuff is possible today. You cannot buy it out of the box, as our German partner often says. Yeah, you cannot just buy for €1,000 AI and then it will figure this out itself. No, you actually need to go out, gather a lot of data, starting to train your networks, but then you can actually do stuff like this. You can look at your assets, you can analyze your assets, you can get the data from the drone to the cloud in an easy process and getting the data to the right people. Yeah, and then the last slide, and I think I'm actually almost on time. Sorry if I'm a bit delayed. So where do we see all this with drones and drone technology heading? Yeah, it's not all future stuff, meaning utilizing drones at the harbor or in the maritime industry is not necessarily future stuff. Some of this can already be done today. It can be implemented today. But what we see when we look into the future, we see the artificial intelligence and the use of the AI on board the robots. We see that as a huge thing, and we see the robots as data collectors that are going out, collecting data, feedbacking or sending feedback to the cloud, making sure the right people look at the data. But we also see the potential in remote control drones. And what is remote control drones? Yeah, that is drones with brains placed throughout the world that can actually be controlled from one control center. Meaning that, yeah, when I have this unit, I've actually tried it because I was in Newcastle recently presenting our product over there. And we actually, from Newcastle, launched a drone that flew in Denmark and collected data at a property in Denmark. So remote control drone is certainly a thing that is coming. And then the last one up here, the swarm technology. Yeah, drones collaborating is of course also something that we see coming in the future. It's not at all there today, but looking into the future, we will see robots driving platforms, flying platforms, collaborating and gathering data. Yeah, so this was a fast, almost on-time run-through of what we do and how we work with these drone platforms that I have right here and the brain on board the drone. So now I think, Henriette, it's yeah, thanks from me. And if there are any questions, then yeah, please feel free to ask them.
Thank you so much, Christian. Really also easy to understand for one like me who has no knowledge about drones. So thank you so much for a very interesting introduction to the world of drones. And I want to have that one, the Stingray kind of one. Is it available for I'm sure my daughters, they would love to have that one to play. It might even have some potential as a toy. Well,
yeah, I think so.
It's serious. Christian, we have put on some polls during your presentation. So I can tell you that do you use drones in your organization? There are 7 yes and 4 no. Then you can come with a comment afterwards to the poll. Do you systematically gather visual data for example, facility management, maintenance, analytics, and planning? There is 8 yes and 2 no. And the last one is, do you have a strategy for digitalization? 8 yes, 1 no. So this is the result of our polls. Do you have any comments to these polls?
Yeah, it's great to hear because this is actually some of the stuff that we think needs to be in place to progress with this, because this is not only the future. This is something that can be done right now, and I think companies they need to get started now collecting the data to make sure that data is available and for further analysis, and it is available for looking into the business cases, because there are a lot of business cases out there, especially in terms of, it could be safety, that could be one business case, but it could also be to avoid sudden accidents. When we come to the ports, they often talk about, harbor fronts that corrode, meaning that, some of the sand will go into the water, and at some point the port could collapse due to that. And making sure that you have data from your harbor fronts where you can start maybe in a manual process first to analyze the data, and then later to maybe to start to utilize some AI on that. But I think it's important to get the process started. And hearing the numbers, it's just great to know that a lot of people is working on digitizing their companies and gathering the data.
So this is also an invitation from you that people should start collaborating and sharing data, like also different kinds of companies. It could be a ship owner together with an equipment producer, or some other suppliers, some consultants. So you can kind of like do this co-creation and together develop this. But as I understand on you, you cannot wait and see that it will come as a solution, a plug and play solution. It's solution that we have to develop together, and so they will be very like specialized and adapted to the specific case. Isn't that correct? This was what I understood on you.
Yeah, and also in terms of actually each individual company has specific key areas or key points that they need solved or they need secured. So that's also why the data gathering for each and every company is important, because you might not have another company that are completely similar to you, where you can get all the data from them, but you need to get started to collect and to figure out where do these data, and also sometimes how can we combine this different data sources from, let's say a flying platform, a driving platform, or even a terminal gate. How can we combine these data and even make even better solutions?
There has come in one question. This is what are the GDPR implications in collecting data, photos and video in the cloud? Very good question from you, Henrik.
Yeah, And it is also something where we are doing a lot of work on that part, because you need to make sure that you cannot directly take one person from an image and directly, how should you say, figure out who that is. But most drone operations are either done from the height, meaning that you cannot identify the people, or it's done in with purposes of inspection. And when you have these different kinds of tasks, you have some space and ability to actually do your job, even though you all the time need to consider the GDPR rules, because you cannot just take images of people or fly over properties where you don't have the right to do that and collect data. It's simply not allowed. So you need all the time to have that in mind. But a lot is actually possible within the current within the current rules.
I think there is coming out a new, I'll say it in Danish, dronebekendtgørelse.
Yes.
And I think I saw that there was a webinar conducted by UAS Denmark. Perhaps Line, you can put up the link for that webinar. So if anybody are interested in the more regulatory part of the drone technology and so on, they can attend this. Or there is also this organization UAS Denmark who is the cluster for drones. There is this cluster for drones, and they are located in Odense, I think. Yeah. So also, if you have questions, reach out to them. We are coming to an end with this broadcast, and I will send out an email to all of you who have attended today with the registration of this broadcast, so you can see it again or share it with colleagues if you find it relevant. And I will also share the email of Christian. So if you have further questions to him, you are welcome to reach out. And then I will just invite all of you to collaborate, to share with each other and develop, because this is what Christian has done with his partners. And I mean, if you only were founded in 2017, you have come quite far with that spirit. So thank you so much, Christian, for sharing your lunch with us. And thank you to all of you out there for listening along. If you want to get invited for other tidbits, you can go to mdc.center. There is a button up in the corner saying get invited. We are sending out every Friday the tidbits for next week coming up. So just have a wonderful day and stay tuned. Bye, everyone.
Bye.